Okay, I've got a question. What do time travel, a magical comet, and an early 1900s New England socialite have in common?
Somehow, believe it or not, they are all key plot points in Hallmark's new movie, A Newport Christmas, and we've got a lot to talk about, Josh.
We do, Jennifer, and we will unwrap it all for you on this episode of Do You Watch What I Watch?
Sit down and watch, then have a talk with Jennifer and Josh.
Well, you guys, going into the season, this was one of those that for me, I was so excited to watch, recap, and review because Ginna Mason is one of my all-time Hallmark favorites. Wes Brown is a great actor as well, and the entire premise of this looked like it was just a very elevated concept for me. Needless to say, I was excited for this one, Jennifer. You?
The bar was set high. I mean, we've got time travel. We've got costuming by the legendary of Hallmark World, Keith Costumes. We've got two great leads, a fun premise. I was seated, and they recorded a song. What was it? A Timeless Christmas? Isn't that what it's called? Jenna Claire Mason and Wes Brown, a little duet. Have you heard it yet? It's so cute.
I haven't. No.
Oh, yeah. We'll have to put a link. You're going to love it. It's super fun. So, very excited. Let's see what happens.
All right, so curtain up, this thing starts, and it's 1905. We are in Newport, Rhode Island. Have you ever been?
No, I have not, but my in-laws just got back from there, and she's my mother-in-law is a Hallmark fan, so she's doubly excited for this one.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's, I love New England, so I've got a soft spot for the whole place up there anyway, so there you go. Ella is in town, and she's delivering some handmade gifts and whatnot. She's got a heart of gold, you can tell from Go. And boy, Ginna Claire Mason really looks the part of a 1900s socialite here. She looks gorgeous. The costuming, again, from Keith Costumes is just like primo. It's spot on, as we've come to expect from him. She sees a building that's what's called for let. Old-timey talk for lease, I guess, would be.
I guess, yeah.
Anyway, she's back at her house. I shouldn't really call it a house. It is a palatial estate. And Sadie, the house manager, tells her that her father wants a meeting with her. Now, Ella wants to start a charity to help the less fortunate in Newport. The idea, however, does not fly with Pops. They are planning a big ball next week, and that is to be, drumroll please, her engagement party. Oh, we're doing that. Yikes. Yeah.
To someone she is betrothed to, I suppose, that she's never met.
That she's never met.
Why do they have money? Do we know why they have money?
I don't think we ever
It's
got
not
that
like
piece of the story. Yeah.
they're just a well-to-do family back in the
They're
day.
just very well to do. And she's to marry this guy named Edward. We never meet Edward, and I'm okay with that. Ella is polite about it all, but respectfully declines. And Dad is insistent, and Ella deflects. She starts talking about Christmas ornaments to try to get Dad off of the topic of this arranged marriage. She's off for a sail, as an angry socialite does, just heads out on a nighttime sail.
In her little petticoat, yeah.
Exactly. Now it's 2025, and we see our male lead. His name is Wes Brown, and his character's name is Nick. He is a Coast Guard veteran giving folks a tour of the same pier and Ella's boat, which he now owns. We learn that Ella later married someone else just as Nick gets word of a boat in trouble. All right, here's what you need to know. You're going to have to stick with me and listen very carefully. I promise you it's worth it in the end. This might feel very detail and beep-bop-boopy and all of that sort of stuff, but please just stick with me. I mean, this is pretty complex.
The payoff is rich.
Yeah.
But it's a very complex story. Yeah, more than we usually get, more than Hallmark is stereotypically known for. We almost need one of those murder boards, even though nobody gets murdered, just like to tie the strings together of what is happening here.
Yeah.
Better you than me. I can just get to sit here and listen.
I'm going to do the best I can here, but please have grace if I mess up some details here. So again, we learn Ella later married someone else, a guy named Rex, just as Nick gets word of a boat in trouble. So Nick's off to help. So he's going to hop in the boat and help. Back to Ella, back to 1905 here. Now the wind is blowing and Ella spots up in the sky this shooting star. Comet just blasts across the sky. She is upset about everything, and she wishes for a different life, to follow love and for someone to fall in love with her, for her. Very aspirational here. So she finishes making this wish and turns around, and what in the world? Nick is on her boat now. Did not see that coming. It was surprising. I
It was so
loved
well done.
this scene.
I was as
So
surprised
well
as she
done.
was. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She just started screaming, "This is my boat!" in
I
a
know.
tone we have never heard from Jenna Claire Mason. I
And
loved
what
it.
you need to know is, I think, and I could talk about this later too, and I probably will because I loved it so much. But boy, Jenna really does this incredible job of not overplaying the 1900s of it all. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think the tendency would have been to really yuck it up and really
Mm-hmm.
overplay it, but she does not. It's very top notch for me. Yeah. They make it back to the dock. Nick helps her off the boat. They're in 2025 now. Okay. And Ella is rightly freaked out. Nick tells her it's 2025, and Elder goes, "Boulder Dash."
Can we
I
please
loved
start using Balderdash back in our
Please.
2025 dialects? It needs to come
I would like
back.
to know, whoever let that fall out of the dialect. That is a great word. Anywho,
We gotta hold on to it. Yeah, we gotta,
please.
instead of keep the Christ in Christmas, we need to do that and also keep the Balderdash in the dialect. Make a bumper
Exactly.
sticker.
Yeah. Nick thinks he is being punked by this woman pretending to be Ella because, of course, he works at a museum that is, in fact, Ella's old estate and Ella's old home. So he knows the history here. He knows her. And now this person is showing up. He thinks that it's someone just cosplaying Ella. He changes his tune when she faints at the sight of an inflatable snowman, which made me laugh.
Yeah. He's blowing her mind. He's like, we have electric cars, we have inflatable snowmen, and then turns the corner. It's so funny. Yeah.
She falls out. Yeah. They go strut the town. He tells her what life is like in 2025, and she is amazed that women wear pants.
He said, yeah, most do.
Most do. Yeah. They go off to her old estate. It's a museum, like I said now, and he's a historian there. Now, the museum director is wearing a jumpsuit from Nordstrom Rack, and Ella's like, I don't know him.
What designer is that? Yeah.
What
So
designer is that?
funny. Oh my
I don't
gosh.
know him. Yeah. The museum staff are rightly concerned about all of this, as we would expect them to be. In the meantime, Ella chats up the guests, and she's off to spontaneously lead a tour. After all, this is her house, and she knows where things are. Turns out that they still host the big Christmas ball that started back in 1905, but it looks a little bit different. Turns out there was a big fire in 1942. So that's why the house looks a little bit different than the way Ella remembers it. Nick's boss, again, her name is Christine. She's the museum manager, tells Nick that he has to look out for this crazed woman. She insists, Ella does, that it's her boat. Nick disagrees. There's a property dispute over the boat, but the boat has what? Suddenly transformed to her version of it, name and all. So she's from 1905 in 2025, but the 2025 boat has turned into the 1905 boat. My mind is blown at this point.
I did not see. We're leveling up already. I was like, wait, Hubba, what? Because we had already seen Wes Brown on his tour saying, like, showing us this inscription that had been carved in the boat. We showed how he'd named the boat. And now that it's reverting back, Hubba, what?
Hubba,
We are
what?
in some big space-time continuum kind of stuff elevated above my my simpleton mind. But I'm here for it.
Metaphysics be metaphysicking. Something.
Did you have that on your bingo card?
Something's going on here.
Yeah.
Ella's back to the museum to spend the night. Again, it's her house. She's going to stay there. They're decorating for the ball, and Ella is not having these plastic baubles that they're working with. She leads them to her old bedroom and a secret stash behind a painting. She's like, well, look what I have. And she flips open this painting. The museum people are mind blown. You know, they're shocked by it all. The stash
Love that.
includes her old diary, which now stops the day that she time traveled. The helpful staff member, her name is Francis, lays out what's happened here. Now, Francis, what you need to know is that he kind of, sort of, definitely has a crush on Christine. Like there's a mutual will they won't they thing happening here, which I
loved
was
them. I loved
was
them.
seated for. It was loved
Yes.
that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Francis lays out what has happened here. Simultaneous time and the consequences if things change. Again, stick with me here. A lot going on. Dial it in, listeners. Come on, team. We got this. In the meantime,
put down, if you're multitasking right now, I know I listen to podcasts in the background all the time. Nope. We need you to zone in and button up and buckle your seatbelt in your schooner. Yeah.
In the meantime, Nick and Ella are going to stay at the museum. So Ella puts on pajamas and wonders why they don't have a chaperone. Then they chat a little bit about their respective eras, flirt a little bit, and they're off to bed. So he takes her for lattes in the morning, and of course she's never had one, and she is amazed by it all, including the little Christmas tree latte art that they have. They chat about time travel, take their lattes to go, and they strut the town. She spots a Santa ringing a bell, makes a big donation. She apparently has this like stash of gold coins from 1905 that she brought with her to 2025, and these gold coins are apparently worth bucks deluxe, and she drops one of them in Santa's little red kettle, and Nick's like, squeeze me. That was quite the donation.
He's like,
madam.
that could feed this entire town. And she's just like putting in, like we would put in a nickel or a quarter or something. Like, it's no big deal to her. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. They then spot a gigantic tree. This is connected to the big fundraiser involving the charity that she started way back in the early 1900s. And she volunteers to help decorate the tree. She gets Nick to help with the help of the crowd. And they are there for the big tree lighting later that night. Ella is in awe of it all. And Nick may be a tad bit smitten kitten by this point, watching her watch the tree. Boy, they are really good at doing this like slow burn, smolder romance thing. Both of them. Really good. Ella happens to spot a plaque letting her know that she started the charity she wanted to start back in 1905. So she's like, oh, I did it. This, however, is problematic, especially since the museum folks have noticed that she has disappeared from the painting above the fireplace in the museum. Time be timing here, and the stakes are high, because if she does not start the charity, then all of the people in Newport throughout the course of history who have been helped by the charity may not get help. So this is consequential here, suffice to say.
Yeah, it wasn't just, she might get stuck in 2025, because we've seen time travel movies before, and that's kind of the big consequence of it all. This was, she's not supposed to find out anything in the future from what she knows in her 1905 present day. And every time she does glean something else in the future, part of it disappears. Now, we can analyze it all day long of how much sense that makes. It would make my head hurt. I'm just leaning into it and suspending belief, because this is a magical time travel movie and I'm here for it. The plaque, it was like a monument. I thought it was where she was buried, honestly. I thought it was like a tomb, an Ella tomb. And I was like, oh, that's dark. She's going to know when she died. But I don't think it was that. And every time they leave Ella unattended, she's such a curious cat that she's finding out more information about what happens to her.
She's
as
learning
anybody
things
would.
she shouldn't. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So she sees this plaque, she connects the dots, and then the next thing you know, the plaque disappears. What? And now Ella gets it. They have to find a way to get her back to 1905 to save the charity, to save Newport, to save the whole 9 yards. Next morning, Nick is researching the comet that she saw that set this whole series of events into action. And Ella is like, what's a laptop? And what's our plan? This is kind of a funny scene because she doesn't obviously know what a computer is. And so that's kind of funny. Back at the museum, the ball is 5 days away. Christine is super stressed about it all. Ella makes her ease up by explaining how tough it is to be a woman in the early 1900s. I love that Ella continually calls Christine a lady boss throughout this entire movie. I thought that was just
not only does she
so
wear
funny.
pants, she is a boss, and
She's a
she's
lady boss.
powerful, and people are listening to her. And yes, Ella's mind is blown.
Blown.
We love that. See it.
Yeah. Ella later hops on Nick's computer. She has a conversation with Bobo Siri. That's pretty funny. This leads her to Bobo Wikipedia, and she learns that she marries a guy. Okay, she marries a guy named Rex Grafton. Remember that name. They also learn that the Christmas comet that got her to 2025 will be in the night sky in 5 days on Christmas Eve. So the comet is the mechanism that fuels the time travel here. Okay, here we go. They are off to go to a boat parade. Nick does not participate in this tradition, however, just like he didn't participate in this tree shindig earlier. Ella presses him for more of his backstory. Why is he so, hesitant to join in? She lets on that she's been branded too much. We get a boat parade montage, which Ella calls a spectacle of humanity. Nick and Ella stroll along and unpack more of their backstories. They bond over their spontaneity and how they both want a, quote, love for the ages. And I'm sitting on my couch thinking, you are the love for the ages. We all know it. Let's just move it along. I mean, come on.
But how are we going to do that? Yeah. They
Exactly.
clearly we're meant to be together, but how are we going to make this work?
Exactly. Stick with us. Promise you it's worth it. Nick is mapping out the plan of attack here. They decide they need to make the most of the time they have, so they jet off to the Giving House. That's her charity, of course. There's a cute holiday market in the area, and they discuss how relationships are different in different eras. A lot of walking and talking happening in the middle third of this movie. Making you love these two individually and making you love them as a couple. Really well written here.
Yeah, but I wasn't bored by it like I usually can
No.
be when there's a lot of walking and talking. I was hanging on to every word.
Yeah. Back at the museum, Ella gives Christine, again, the lady boss, some advice on love and helps her with stringing popcorn. As Ella and Nick are walking with some donations, they cross paths with a guy. His name is Adam Waters, who gives Nick the compass that he used earlier. So when Nick was sort of figuring out all of the stuff with the comet, he had this compass. It turns out this guy named Nick Waters gave Nick the compass that he used. Ella says, hey, that guy looks familiar. So I'm wondering what's up with that. They very sneakily introduced this character here. I was intrigued by it all.
Wait, his name was Nick too?
No, you're right. Adam Waters is his name. Did I say Nick Waters?
I thought you did. You may not have, but my head
I'm sorry. Yes.
jumbles names. I heard Nick. Okay.
Nick
is
so
Wes
it's
Brown.
Adam Waters.
Yeah.
Nick is the guy. Ella is the girl. Then this new character, Adam Waters, pops up. You need to remember who he is. He plays a part in all of this a bit later.
Yeah, who'da thunk it? Did not see that.
Who'da thunk
that he would be come back. Yeah.
It's all hands on deck to get the plans for the ball going. Ella overhears Christine stressing about the history and things related to Ella disappearing. There's more mystery around this Rex guy. Christine finds what may be a picture of him in an old book at the museum. Nick admits, just puts it all out there, says that he's got big, big feelings for her to his coworkers, both to Christine and to Frances. He's like, yeah, I really, really like her. Mildly complicated, to say the least here. Yeah. And so I think that he's...
Yeah, more than usual. It's usually like a developer in the way or something. This is little more of a situationship.
Yes.
Not to mention that old Ella married this guy Rex, who present day Ella has never met still and has no idea who he is. And is like, I probably won't even love him if my father picked him out. Like, I don't know this man. Yeah.
Yeah. And all of that while Ella, it's becoming abundantly clear, is developing feelings for Nick, just like he's developing feelings for her. She's got her own set of feels here. So Ella bought Nick a gift. It turns out it's a nice Christmas stocking. We learn in a fireside chat that Ella's mother came from pretty meager means. Nick introduces Ella to the concept of television and Christmas movies. They chat a little bit about that, and then they look at that picture of maybe Rex, that guy that they think might be Rex, but they don't know. Nick is like, that guy also looks like Adam Waters. What is going on here? Okay, so again, Adam Waters gave Nick the compass. Now Adam Waters looks like the guy in that old-timey picture who might
Adam
be
Waters sold him
Rex
the boat too,
Grafton
right?
and sold him the boat. It's, yeah. Like I said,
Spooky.
complex. Yeah. He is teaching Ella, Nick is teaching Ella how to Google. And they connect more dots here.
And then he says, use the mouse, and she jumps on top of a chair, which I thought was hilarious. He's like, no, like, this is a mouse. No, okay. Just, they didn't go too hard with that stuff, and it did let
No.
up after the beginning, but they would still sprinkle in here and there. Like, yeah, of
Yeah.
course, there's so much she wouldn't know.
Yeah. So they come to the conclusion, they connect these dots that Adam Waters and Rex Grafton are one and the same, both the same guy. The comet zapped him to 2005 after Ella's dad sent him out to look for Ella when she disappeared in 1905. Okay? So she disappeared in 1905. Ella's dad sent him out, Rex out. Rex saw the same comet at the same time that Ella did. Ella gets zapped to 2025. He gets zapped to 2005. Okay, stick with us. Ella is underwhelmed by all of this, however, and she wonders if she should rewrite her history. She's also aware that she is falling in love with Nick, so she's sort of conflicted about what to do with all of this developing information. I would be too. So Rex is someone
and she did not like Adam Waters / Rex.
No.
She was not attracted to him. She wanted nothing to do with this man. The sparks were not sparking with him. And she's like,
No,
I don't think I want that life.
Because the story was back in 1905 that her dad sent Rex out. Rex found her, brought her back, and that sort of led to their...
And they lived happily ever after kind of thing.
Their
yeah.
romance, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Rex is someone who also wished for a different life. He and Ella discover over coffee. This is unsettling because now Ella doesn't quite understand why she's here in 2025. So Ella is wanting to distract herself. Okay, I get it. Yeah, she just is like, what is going on with my life? So she buys a bunch of presents for the museum volunteers. She wants to stay in the present and make a difference in 2025. He wants her to go, Nick does, back to 1905 because there's so much at stake, of course, with the charity. He's committed to getting her home, and she wonders when he will ever be home. That's what he asks her. When will you be home? Because he's like, I want you to get home. And Ella goes, but when will you be home? And they kiss. And this is just like a passionate moment. It's not just sweet. Like, this is like really dramatic in a satisfying way. I loved this. Yeah, it was great.
It was so well done.
Yeah. So Nick now goes to Rex and tries to convince him to go back in time. 1905, go back when the comet's here on Christmas Eve, go back to 1905, keep things the way they were, status quo, so that we don't jeopardize the history of it all. Turns out Rex is engaged in modern day. So he came to 2005, has lived 2005 to 2025, met a woman, they're engaged. He's like, nope, I'm here. I want to stay here, the whole 9 yards.
Well, and he says, he'd lost his parents. He was an only child, so he didn't have any family
Had
back in
nothing keeping
1905.
him.
He didn't remember Ella, so he didn't really have any reason to go back. Why would he? He's got a good thing going here. Yeah.
Exactly right. Yeah. So Rex explains to Nick the latitude and longitude differences that explain why they showed up in different decades. So they pull out this map and they're talking about how if I was here just a little bit further south, then that would explain why I'm here 20 years before she showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Again, A lot of thought went into all of this. Yeah. So now it's time for the big museum ball. And I got to tell you, they went high budget with this thing. This was like
It was
A plus.
gorgeous.
It
Mhm.
absolutely passed the test for a ball. It felt like a high society event. They spent the money and it looked great.
Yeah, and if you've listened to
Ella,
any of our old episodes, we are pretty critical about the Christmas Eve balls and the parties, and like usually there's like 5 extras in the background awkwardly dancing, but it was all very elevated and very well done.
very.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Ella, again, Ginna Claire Mason, she looks like $1 trillion in this scene. This dress they have her in is amazing. It's not Nordstrom Rack, but she says that it is, and there's no way they're selling this gown at Nordstrom Rack. This is Keith
No.
Costumes all the way.
Yeah. I
Nordstrom
did
Rack
message
should
him. I
be
was like,
so
"So
lucky.
did you use anything from Nordstrom Rack?" So because they just kept mentioning it. It was so funny. It was basically a
Yeah.
product placement for Nordstrom Rack. Yeah.
Ella gives Christine a fan and a bunch of old-timey signals about how ladies used to use fans to communicate things. Like if you put the fan close on your cheek, it meant that, you were in love with someone. If you put the fan, on your lips, it means you wanted to kiss someone, something like that. And so Christine uses the signals. Frances understands the signals, and this leads to a kiss between the two of them. Really satisfying. Love that.
Yeah, a lot of times the B characters are like, whatever, but yeah, I was rooting for them hardcore.
Me too. Nick shows up in a tux, and boy, Wes Brown can wear a tux. Let me just tell you.
We saw
Yeah.
him as Chatty Kruger a couple weeks ago in Hall Out the
Yeah.
Halloween. Very different vibe tonight. Very satisfying. Look
Yeah.
good.
They dance. Nick realizes he's at home when he's with her. Of course he does. Adam/Rex shows up to the ball with his modern day fiance. And at that moment, the tree that's decorated with the gifts for the giving house magically disappears behind them. It just, evaporates. And they see, we got to do something here. It's all falling apart. So they are
Adam
off
Rex
to
is
the
ruining
pier.
everything. He's
Everything.
ruining it all.
Everything. And so they are off to the pier to send Ella back in time to fix all of this. Adam/Rex says goodbye. Nick is there and gives her a cheesy ornament, the same one that they saw at the holiday market a bit earlier. And she hops on the schooner. She sets sail and she's off to catch the comet. She tells the comet that she's ready to go home and that she's really frustrated. Why would you let me fall in love if I can't be with the man that I love? That whole thing. She's really taking it out on this comet. We're back in 1905, so the whole thing works. She does zap back to 1905. It's Christmas Eve, and it's the very first ball that they're going to have at that mansion. The staff has already decorated a tree because she's been gone, obviously, for a few days now in honor of Ella. This is full of contributions from the Newport social class. So this becomes the inaugural giving tree that we saw in 2025. Tradition started. That's a good sign, right? Exactly. Ella reunites with her father and she puts a flag in the ground. She says, I am starting this charity and I will fall in love with whoever I please. Good for you, Ella. Applause, applause, applause. Just then, a staffer at the door announces the arrival of Rex Grafton. And you hear that name and you're like, oh no, he did come back. And then we see Rex Grafton, and it's not the Rex Grafton we have seen this entire time. No, no, no. This is Nick. Turns out he decided to give up his life in 2025 and chase after her on the water and caught the comet and assumed Rex's life and saved the day. And of course, I'm crying. And the end.
It's time for Gold or Coal.
Okay, friends, it is time for our Gold or Coal segment. If you're new here, we're each going to bring 3 gifts to the podcast. If there's more gold, it's huzzah! If there's more cold, it's balderdash, although we do love that term. And if it's a tie, which happened last time, it's just a meh for Merry Christmas. Josh, I'm coming to you first. What is your first gift for this movie?
It has to be gold for the leads here, both Ginna Claire Mason and Wes Brown. This is like perfect casting. She could not be more believable in this role. And like I said earlier, she didn't overplay this whole 1900s thing to the point where it was cheesy. Like, it was absolutely believable. It was studied, it was nuanced, it was just really special. Like, it was a really special performance, I thought. And I thought it was great. She did this whole fish out of water thing in a way that was funny but wasn't slapsticky, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It just
It could have
endeared
been
her all the
grating
more.
real quick.
Yeah, it could have
Mm-hmm.
been grating real quick, and it wasn't. And I gotta tell you, I thought Wes Brown really played this dramatic role really well. Like, this is an abnormally dramatic male role for a Hallmark movie. And I thought that he really did a nice job with it. You know, so often the guys in these can be very one-dimensional, very just kind of
Mm-hmm.
single note, I'm a big bad developer or whatever. And that's not this. And
No.
boy, I thought Wes Brown did an incredible job playing this. So gold for me to start.
And he was warm and funny, but
Yeah.
also serious, like, had levity to him. It just yeah, he was great. I will give some gold for Jenna Claire Mason, like what you're saying. I'm looking back, this is our 5th Jenna Claire Mason movie. So we have seen her in A Holiday Spectacular, Heidelberg Holiday, A Carol for Two, and this year we did Hats Off to Love in the spring. She just keeps getting better, and she was great from go. So this is a standout all-time role for her, I think. It just, like everything you said, it just every way she played it, I was hanging on every word. She looked beautiful. She spoke eloquently. You rooted for her. Gold.
They really wrote this well, but boy, she brought it to life in this way where you loved her from the first word out of her mouth. And
Mhm.
I just, again, can't say enough good thing. More
Mhm.
gold for me. I thought this movie was just visually so pretty, right? It was
Mhm.
just, they really paid a lot of attention to the way this was shot, the way this was edited, where they did some of these scenes by the water, where they did these scenes in the mansion. The costuming was just really top notch. Like, visually, this was a really pretty movie and enjoyable to watch start to finish for me.
Yeah, the production value was top notch. I will give some gold for how they tied this all together because
Mm,
this was a movie that had a great idea, and we've gotten that a lot. We have a great premise, and then it just falls off the rails, right? This exceeded my expectations because as you're watching, you're like, how are they going to pull this off? And they land the plane so perfectly. It is confusing, like to hear it. You're like, what in the world? So if you haven't seen the movie, go back and watch it. I'll go ahead and tell you that because it's just so well done. Like the way they do connect the dots and they try to make sense of a very illogical, like improbable thing of time travel, it still made it feel grounded and like you could believe it in some world with a little magical realism. And I
hmm
loved that.
Yeah, agreed. My last gift will be gold, and it's for the B plot with Christine and Francis. I just, so often these B plot, especially if they involve romance, are just kind of there to support or kind of feel throwaway at the end of the day. But I feel like this was actually really satisfying in terms of the development of this relationship and seeing how they, at the end of the day, they all liked each other as friends, and I think they were all cheering for each other. And you get this really sweet thing at the end of it where Nick had written them this note
Oh, I forgot
to,
about the note.
yeah, to Christine and Francis to explain that he was going back for her. And that was just, it put like the bow on all of that for these friends in a way that I thought was really, again, nuanced and totally appropriate, and really, I think, respected the characters in a way that so often we don't get. So I loved it.
Yes, and that's when they're in that side room where the painting she shows back up in the painting too, and they're like, "Okay,
Hmm.
she made it back," and then they get the note. I forgot about the note. So good. My last gift is gold, just to gush about it a little bit more. Hallmark used to have Hallmark Hall of Fame movies, and it was like their
Mm,
one every season that you could tell they put more money into. It was an elevated cast. It was just extra. It was Hallmark on crack. It was extra, extra. This
hmm
gave me vibes of Hallmark Hall of Fame because it was so good for all of the reasons we've gushed about already. The production, the costuming, the leads, the story. This is the first movie we've watched this season where I got Christmas warm fuzzies too.
mm,
I really loved
hmm
Merry Christmas, Ted Cooper. I had a hoot and a half with that movie, but I wasn't necessarily like in the Christmas spirit yet. That's nothing against the movie, it just wasn't. But this movie, just the way it felt like a Christmas film. This is a film. This is not like
Mm-hmm.
a, Hallmark throwaway made for TV movie that you have on in the background. You can't have it on the background because you will be super confused. But it just made me so happy to watch it, where I was a little bummed when it was
Mm-hmm.
over, and that's usually not the case. So,
I feel the same way. This was
gold.
very
Yeah.
reminiscent for me of A Bit More Christmas in terms of the
Yes.
tone and the feel and the thought that went into it. And we love that. We love this. Gosh, I think what you said is just so spot on, Jennifer. Jenna Claire Mason just keeps getting better in every single thing we see her in. And it's just sky's the limit for her. We love her. We think she's great. Wes Brown is great. This movie, start to finish, was just a home run for me. It did not underwhelm. In fact, it was everything I was hoping that it would be, and then some.
It just built on itself the whole time. So, we can't gush about it enough. That's what, a perfect movie in our eyes. 6 out of 6.
Mm-hmm.
Again, there's things that are crazy that you're like, that would never happen, but I've suspended all of that. I don't even care.
Please get
I
swept up in
enjoyed
it.
it because, yeah,
Yes.
just get swept up in it. Tell a friend about it. I've already told my mother-in-law. I was like, she's like, I recorded it. I was like, no, you have to watch it. It's
Mm-hmm.
so good. So it's definitely going to be one that I would rewatch every year. I want other people to watch it. I'm going to try to convince my husband to watch it with me. I don't make him sit through all these. So, yes, very excited about it. So, what would you rate this movie? Let us know in the comments. I slacked off on socials and didn't get one out to ask for your comments ahead of time. So, hey, leave them on our Instagram post or TikTok post or YouTube comments and let us know what you thought. And we want to hear your thoughts about it.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, we're just trying to build a community because we love these movies and we really love our listeners and we're really developing some great friendships and we want you to be our friend too. So find links to all of our social media handles on our website at doyouwatchwhatIwatch.com. And that, friends, is another episode of Do You Watch What I Watch? Hey, if you're watching us on YouTube, do us a favor, be sure to bop that like button and go ahead and hit subscribe because occasionally, I will post the video episodes a little bit before I post the audio episode. So you might get a little bit of a sneak peek if you subscribe. So there you go.
That's right. You'll
Rewarding
get those
your loyalty.
notifications.
Yeah.
That's right. Special thanks as always to Nick Schwartz for our theme song. Thank you for being here and listening and watching. What are we talking about next, Josh?
So next time we're going to be chatting about a new one over on Up TV. Yeah, we drafted some from Up this season. And so this one is called The Great Christmas Snow-In. Here's the plot summary. Justin retreats to a cabin met for his honeymoon, but is snowed in with Jane, his ex-fiance's cousin. A spark forms between them. One thing is for sure, we're going to have much to discuss, but until we see you next time.
We do have to get our board back out, ex-fiance's cousin, and trying to figure all this out. Well, anyways, may your days be merry and bright. We'll see you next time.